The Jams with San Diego's best station for rock and roll, KCR College Radio.
Cannonball! We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Bored during the day? Maybe you just want to chat. Drop us a line, 619-594-6982.
Cause you had a bad day.
Turn it up with KCR.
Sing a sad song just to turn it around.
Did we mention no commercials? Freeform Radio, only on KCR. Proud member of Associated Students.
From the campus of San Diego State University, you're listening to KCR College Radio.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
A wizard.
Catch the Sound of State online at kcrlive.com
And a thumping good one, I'd wager.
or download the free TuneIn app for Apple and Android devices.
I can't be a wizard. I mean, I'm just...
John C.
This is KCR, the Sound of State.
And we are on. Ooh, sorry, I blasted everyone's headphones just now. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's KCR's College Radio. You're listening to the award-winning Sound of State and the entertainment show called Tishtalk. And I am your host, Tishamora. It's been a good minute. It really has, actually. In between midterms and everything else happening in life, I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, and I missed being on air. I hope you guys missed me being on air. I'm so sorry that I have been away for a good minute. But if you guys want to keep up with me and the show, I have a Twitter, eventually going to work on that Facebook page, I am sorry, and an Instagram at KCR Tishtalk. That's KCR-TISH Talk. So where to begin? This show is all about talking about the internet and entertainment and basically any topic having to do in the entertainment business. So far we've talked about food, we've talked about quote-unquote 90s show, really just looking back at like our old TV shows that we grew up with, as well as we talked about Sunday Funnies, really just talking about Archie / the new series called Riverdale. And today we are going to be talking about good old teen angst. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's just basically what people talk about as, like, you know, your teen years where you're all moody, broody kind of thing. You're listening to hard music and shutting your door, that kind of stuff. So we're going to kind of reminisce on that today, as well as kind of talk about how my guests and myself, how differently we grew up as to what we see now, as well as how that's portrayed on the media and stuff like that. But to my guests today, I actually have two guests, which is probably the most guests I've had in a while. One of them you have heard on air before, so she's a regular here, and one of them is new. The nice thing about it, though, is that we all know each other. We come from the same place in terms of employment, and it's a ladies' night, you guys. So if you would please welcome my two guests, Arlene and Ursula from Barnes & Noble. Hey, guys.
Hi. Hello there.
Hello. So Arlene kind of knows how it works, and for those of you who weren't listening before, I'm gonna make you do it again. Could you guys basically give us your name, what you guys are up to nowadays, whether it be school or work, and basically how we all know each other, which I kind of already disclaimed, but whoever wants to go first. Arlene, Ursula, whoever.
Okay, well, I'll go first. I'm Arlene. I've been on the show twice now?
Technically once. You were on my other
Oh,
show.
okay, other show. This second time being on this show.
Yeah.
I work at Barnes & Noble where I met these two lovely ladies.
Hey.
I'm currently working at Barnes & Noble. There's not much else to say.
Okay.
And
And Ursula?
All right, so like you guys said, we met at work and we've become really good friends outside of there, so that totally makes suffering all day worth it. And
kidding, guys.
aside
We love
from work, I just harass these two on social media constantly, and
like one other person
And, like, yeah.
who would have been here, but he's not here, and we're kind of just throwing him under the bus.
yep.
How
How you doing, Andres?
Dang, I was gonna throw his name out there, but you did. So
Thank
yeah, Andres, we're calling you out. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you guys for both being on the show. Arlene, thanks for coming again, and Ursula, welcome to KCR/Tishtalk. So, teen angst.
Yeah.
So I actually did not come up with a topic this week. I asked these ladies to join me, and I was trying to think of what was the best thing the three of us can talk about. And Ursula mentioned basically teen angst, and Arlene was completely behind it. And you obviously can't see them right now, but I did post on my Instagram and my Twitter that they went all out and like dug through their closets to try and find the stuff that they used to wear. And I feel bad because I did not do that. I just did it. I'm wearing like a band shirt and my brother's like flannel. I think that's the most that I did. And these guys are like decked out and it's amazing. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Next time I'll get it right, okay?
we'll send you a memo.
Please
Yeah.
do. I did not get the memo. But to kind of kick things off, we're gonna talk about teen angst, and obviously that's different for everybody. For me, when I think about teen angst, at least for myself, it makes me kind of think of one big thing that makes me think of is cringe. That's just like for me, at least in my experiences in it, makes me just think of like those like quote unquote emo songs or scene songs kind of thing. Lots of like rubber bands and bracelets and stuff like that. Lots of black nail polish, black everything. At least that's what it is for me. But for you guys, what is quote unquote teen angst to you guys? Like, what would you say to describe it to somebody who doesn't know what that is?
Basically, for me, it was what you said: a lot of wearing black, a lot of black eyeliner, a lot of black nail polish. You know, you got your good old bands, Paramore, Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
You know, the souls, like what our souls used to like strive for.
Well, teen angst is really cool because it's what you experience when you're old enough to start getting these sort of mature feelings, but it's your first time ever dealing with this type of stuff, so you're gonna go about it all wrong. And so like it'll be real stuff, like stuff happening in your life, stuff that's relevant to you, but then you know you walk past a Hot Topic and you tune into some My Chemical Romance, like you said, and it just kind of takes its own life from there. And then we've all had that. I'd like to think anyway, to make myself sleep at night, that we've all had that phase.
Yeah, I would hope so. Honestly, like for me, I know Arlene, you were saying that like this was you throughout high school, right?
Oh yeah.
This like quote unquote teen angst, like then the way that we're describing it, for me was more for middle school for me actually. Like that was my like hardcore scene kid phase, which is why I'm like I feel bad because like you guys like went all out. I'm like I should have gone all out. I just don't have all that stuff anymore.
I went through boxes, man.
I know. I'm sorry. So, like, I can't really say it in terms of like a scale, but how angsty, quote unquote angsty, were you guys? Like, I know that there's different categories, quote unquote categories, like scene or emo or I don't know, screamo being one of them. I don't, you know, like, what would you guys say if you had to define yourself as that back then? What would you say? You're closest to? Because if anything, I was just doesn't even classify as scene or like as angsty, but I was just like a weeb. Ursula knows
Weeb's
this.
like a subculture, yeah. like subcategory.
Yeah, I would say that was probably me.
Oh my goodness.
Like I guess sceney weeb kid. That's how I was.
I could smell it on you.
Thanks.
From the day we met.
But then that's what bonded us and made us the friends that we are today.
Yeah, I had to torment you based out of my own insecurities. So I was like, oh no.
Well, what would you say you guys would be? I would say I was probably like the scene weeb kid at one point.
Probably like scene.
Scene?
Yeah.
Both of you?
Oh, dude, emo all the way.
She's my emo princess, man.
Oh my god.
There's a difference. Like, don't listen to what South Park says. There's a difference.
Is there really? What would be the difference then? Because some people won't know that.
Emo is like cooler.
Thanks.
Okay. I would say, if anything, like, at least the way that I remember friends who were quote unquote emo or like scene was more of like the pop-ish version of that. And like there were like bright, at least the people that were around me. Don't give me that look. It was more like brighter colors.
Yeah.
And like I think that was around the time where the beads, like the bracelets and stuff like that.
Oh, the candy.
The candy,
Oh,
yeah, the
Candy
candies.
with a K.
Yeah, candy with a
Oh my
K.
God.
Like that was a thing. That's what I associate with like scene. Then emo was like just definitely a lot more hardcore. Like it was like that was definitely people who like wore all black and had all long hair. They had like the that's what at least when I went to school, that was what I was associated with.
Yeah, the pyramid studs
Yeah.
and the skulls.
Oh my god, yeah.
All
Oh,
the wonderful
all the
fashion
way.
from Hot Topic, man.
Yes, dude,
fishnet
Hot
gloves.
Topic. I used to have that. Oh my
Same.
god.
I found one and I was gonna wear it, but it
I have
ripped,
the
and I was
lacy
very
ones.
disappointed.
I think I still have the lacy ones, but the things that kind of tear.
I would have sacrificed my soul for a fishnet glove right about now.
Oh no.
Whatever's left of it anyway.
Oh god. Well, you guys mentioned Hot Topic. I used to hate Hot Topic. I love it now because it's like fandom central for me, and I can go for all of my fandom needs.
That's
but
why I hate it now.
you don't like. I love it because I'm like
It lost itself.
I'm a fangirl. But no, I remember back then I was like afraid to go in because like all of the album arts used to scare me, like how intense some of them were. You know what I mean? And then also I knew back then, I know that Spencer's I think is the only one that carries it now, but they used to have like the life-size Chucky doll, which is really the
Yeah.
main reason why I
Yes.
didn't go in there. That was honestly the main reson why I didn't go in there. I hate that doll.
I
Like,
have a fixation with it.
No!
So I don't think I can
We can't be friends.
comment on that.
that is like my terror to this day. I hate that doll. Anyways, please don't use it against me. Anyone listening to me, which is a lot of people. I would hope. So, moving past that, talking about fashion, I remember. Well, let me ask you guys first. Was there anything that you guys like religiously wore that was like, this is my thing? Like, this is like what defines me. This is like my. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes,
The
okay.
accessories.
Yes, the accessories, like the fashion
I
accessories.
had
What was
quite
your
the
thing?
number. Quite the
Please list
number.
them. Please list them because I really need to know.
All right, so like we mentioned before, the very favorite fishnet gloves.
Yes.
Loved wearing those all the time. Like I felt so edgy as a 13-year-old. And oh god, I'm gonna embarrass myself. But do you guys
No judgment.
Do you guys remember the band Avenged Sevenfold?
Yeah.
They're still around, but I had gotten like this necklace with the charm of their logo, the death bat, and I would wear it every day.
Oh,
Like
my gosh.
every day. I think I have like my yearbook photo from 9th grade. I'm wearing it.
Dude, yes.
I'll show it to you someday.
That must
maybe.
be one beautiful picture.
Man.
Oh my god. What about you, Arlene?
I used to wear those fingerless gloves a lot. The black fingerless gloves.
The fingerless gloves.
I got called mittens at one point.
mittens. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Did you buy them pre-cut or did you cut them yourselves?
I had originally cut a pair myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I finally got
And
a
then
pair
you buy
cut.
them. That's so
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I made my own out of like out of stockings before.
You did.
Like the old pantyhose.
That's so. Oh my god, no way.
Yes.
I never made mine. I always just bought mine because like I would go Claire's. I'd go to Claire's and I'd honestly buy them there, and then I would go to like Japanese like marketplaces because they'd have them. But for me, I remember there was like 3 big things I used to wear, or 4 I guess. Ironically enough, I used to wear a lot of like olive green, army green. Obviously, for reasons I hate it now. Not hate it, but like for reasons I don't wear it as much.
Yeah.
But back then I used to wear it religiously. Like I had like 3 jackets. I used to wear camouflage like almost all the time. I had like this wristband that was camo that like would slowly stretch out over the years because I'd always wear it, and
I
then
wanted
it'd
to be
slowly...
John Cena so bad.
Dude, oh my... Can't see me. I used to... She saw right through me. Oh gosh. No, I used to wear that. I used to wear this black choker, and then I would like sometimes change out the charms, but for the most part it was like this little white drop charm thing. That wasn't even like it wasn't even like a store-bought choker. It was like one that I made from like a ribbon, and I would tie it around my and I used to wear ribbons too, like in my hair. But that's more than like 3, but whatever. But I used and to finish it all off, I used to like hardcore wear Heelys everywhere.
I still want a pair of Heelys, man.
There's this dude in my class, he has it. I'm like, oh my god, please bring it back. Give me a reason to wear them. Like, it was cool too. He's like, okay, it was after our exam, and he's like, hey guys, I'll see you later. He like pieced out and then backwards got on his Heelys and like strolled out. I was like, whoa, this dude's so cool.
Oh my god, I really hope this Healy Bay is like listening right now.
I highly doubt it. I don't even, I'm sorry dude, I don't even know your name, but
If you are, hi.
he's in my Japanese class. He's cool.
Healy Bay 2K 17.
But it was funny though. I was like, dude, this guy's cool. Like, I want it. They actually do have like Heelys for adult pairs. They do on Amazon. Like, no joke. I was looking at it. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's. Was there anything else that you guys wore? There's one more that I remembered. But was there anything else that was like your thing?
Oh my god, remember how like maybe when we were in middle school, early high school, like the stretching your ears was like, such a huge trend.
I mean, it kind of is still now.
I mean, it still is, but I remember being so obsessed with getting my ears stretched when I was like 14. And my of course my mom was never gonna let me do it, so I went to Hot Topic, of course, and I got the fake tapers.
I wear those now.
I wore those religiously, and I really needed people to believe that I had stretched ears.
I wear those now. I'm wearing one right now. Well, they're not tapers. I don't know what these ones are called. The wood ones. Are those still called tapers? I'm not sure.
They're really cool, and I want them.
Thank you.
It never dies.
I wear them just because, like, I like the way they look. I don't really care if it looks like I stretch my ears. I just like the wooden aspect of it. But I've had multiple people come up to me and be like, "Oh my god, you stretched your ears!" And I was like, "No, they're fake." Like, and I'll pull them off, and then they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I'm like, "Is it?" Like, I never really thought of it that way. I always think they're really cool. I'm like, it's like you look cool, but then you don't have to commit to stretching your ears out.
For real.
Like, that's how I see it. For me, it was like, I had a story because you mentioned that. So I think this was probably like early high school. Like, one of my best friends, Andrew, shout out Andrew if you're actually listening. He used to wear, like, he got his ears pierced. I don't remember when. It was like early on in high school. And he would have like the actual tapers in his ear. And he started off, I think, like the smallest one, and then like moved up maybe a couple. Like, he didn't stretch them out a whole lot. But I remember when he got them, I'm like, those are actually really cool looking. I kind of want one. And he's like, oh, here, you can take the one that I have, and you can wear them. Just like because my ears are already pierced. And he's like, yeah, you can just wear them. Just go ahead and like put them in, and then just make sure you don't take them out or whatever. But he didn't tell me what happens is like when your earlobe is stretching, it hurts. And he didn't tell me that my ear was going to bleed. And it freaked me out. Not to mention that it was painful. I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is awful. Why would anyone want to do this? So I did not want it. So I took them off. Obviously I cleaned them and I gave it back to him. I was like, no, like, I'm not doing that. He's like, what happened? What's wrong? It's like, my ears were bleeding. He's like, I told you. He's like, no, you didn't. To this day, I'm like, you never told me my ears were going to bleed. So I guess that's why I got the fake ones, because it's like I wanted nothing this huge that what looks like this huge, but I wanted to have that at one point. And I'm scarred. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks. But I don't know. Would you guys consider doing the stretching of the ears?
I'd want to.
You want to? You still want to?
But
you have the fake ones too, don't you? You have the purple ones, right?
I do.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't get them stretched that big though.
Yeah. Would you just get the small little stick-looking ones, like the tapers? Yeah.
I want something that's nice, decent size. That if I take them out, my ear will go back.
Yeah, and which is why I was like, that's why I didn't want to get the big ones, because like people, I mean, like if you like those things, and I understand maybe like in some places where you come from, that's what you do. That's fine. Like, you do you, boo boo kind of thing. But for me, it's just like looks painful. I'm not down. But yeah, teen angsty fashion. I know that we still kind of carry around those. I mean, we kind of mentioned it with the earrings. But are there some things that you guys have carried on from that now? Besides, like, obviously you guys were wearing stuff that you had in your closet, but I mean, like, things you wear every day that you've carried on from your teen angst phase. Is that still kind of with you? Because I know for me, at least, I guess the tapers are, for me, the fake tapers, that's what I wear regularly. So what about you guys?
A lot of black shirts.
A lot of black shirts.
A lot of plain black shirts.
The skinny jeans, they don't go out of style. We have so many skinny jeans. I'm like, oh, they're good. I'm still gonna keep using them.
I'm the opposite. I have like 2 pairs of jeans now. I used to have a lot of jeans, like, but most of them ended up being torn or ripped to the point where it's like I don't want to wear them anymore. So I transitioned over to leggings. Plus, I don't have to worry about them being really long on me. So, yay!
And the band t-shirts.
And the band. Oh yeah.
I got rid of a whole bunch of band t-shirts. I had to clean out the closet because I, don't really listen to that stuff anymore. But then other bands I used to love, like in late elementary, middle school, start coming out with 10-year anniversary tours for their albums. And so I've been going to these shows and just reliving the last decade.
Aww.
And now my closet is starting to slowly fill back up again with these t-shirts.
That's so precious.
Like, just last week I saw Census Fail perform the 15th anniversary show for their album Still Searching. And right before that was Circa Survive for the 10-year for their album.
Oh yeah, that was
for their other album.
Was that the one you went to most recently? I think I saw that. On
the Census Fail one was the more recent one.
Mm-hmm.
Circa Survive was in February, and I have merch now. And I thought that I was past it, but I was like, oh my god, I need it.
Aww. I didn't go to a lot of concerts growing up. Like, don't judge me. My first concert that I went to, I think, was like a Big Time Rush one in Vegas.
Hey, those guys can, like, they have some slamming songs, dude.
They got some slamming moves, let me tell you. They did. I was like, whoa, like, these guys were like from Nickelodeon, but they're like going hard. I remember, like, I was still really impressed. And then I think after that was like only like, I think after that it was like a couple of One Direction concerts. And then I think the most recent one that I went to was a Walk the Moon concert in the Greek Theater in LA. That was pretty dope.
I've only been to one concert in my entire life. When I was in elementary school, I was a Girl Scout.
Oh,
and we went to the 93.3 Summer Jam concert.
Yes,
that was the only concert I've ever went to.
That's a pretty dope concert to go to, though.
All I remember, Chris Brown was there, and he said he was going to take off his shirt, but he didn't because his grandfather was backstage.
His grandfather
was very disappointed.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Props to you, Chris Brown, for not taking off your shirt because your grandpa was there.
I remember I always wanted to go to concerts, like in middle school, and I think early elementary school, like maybe when I was in 6th grade or so, there was this tour called Project Revolution that came to town.
That's really cool. That sounds really cool.
I think Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, and Taking Back Sunday, and Mindless Self-Indulgence, I think might have been there. I'm not sure. My older, cooler cousins went, but I couldn't go because I was too young, and I stewed in my angst. And I didn't end up going to my first concert till I was 15, and it was amazing. I did not know mosh pit etiquette at the time.
Mosh pit.
So I was.
There's etiquette? Wait, there is?
Yeah.
I've never been a part of a mosh pit. I'm sorry, but like, you need to tell me the etiquette. Please enlighten my viewers, enlighten my listeners.
All right, so I'm gonna set the scene. This is 5 years ago, and at Soma, San Diego, and the tour was the U.S. Fever Tour by Bullet for My Valentine with support from Chiodos and Arcanium. And Bullet for My Valentine had just played their first song, and they were gonna play the second one. And I was with my sister and a couple of my friends, and we wanted to get to the very front because this was my first concert, so I was very excited. I wanted to see the band. And I was in the middle of the room. And little did I know that by standing near the front in the middle of the room, that you were in like mosh pit country. So I'm just hanging out there. I'm not watching my surroundings, not paying attention. And just the room opens up and just there's a circle pit. And I got trapped in there. I got sucked in like a real live hurricane. And oh my goodness, this big guy pulled me up and yanked me up off the floor. I came, like, my feet were off the ground, and he like yelled in my ear, "Are you okay?" And I remember going into the shower the next night, and I had like handprints on my ribs from how tight he had to grab me to pull me out.
That's crazy. I'm terrified. I'm a small person. I feel like I would be trampled by anybody who did that to me. I'm never going in a mosh pit ever.
And then throughout high school, I was a concert junkie. I would go to shows like at least once a week, like every weekend at Soma, San Diego, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't even matter if I knew the band that was playing or not. I just really liked the atmosphere.
That's cool though. That's really cool. Not a lot of people. I mean, I guess like a certain demographic will be able to say that they totally get what you're doing and they do the same thing. But that's really cool. That sounds terrifying to me though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was really scary, but like now that was 15, and like we're 22 now. I don't want to do the math. That's like what? I don't know. But I'm a liberal arts major. I don't do math.
Same.
But yeah, just like after those years, I try not to judge like the little kids when I see them doing stuff like that, like just being kind of silly. Because I remember like we've all been there. I try not to. I mean, it's kind of nice to have a good laugh at them once in a while. But
are you talking about specifically the ones we see at work?
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's just annoying.
Okay. But we used to be those kids. That's really funny. Like, do you? And that's gonna kind of transition to like the second half of the show, which is gonna come up in a few minutes. But it's like a good transition into like what we're gonna talk about later in terms of like, our experiences versus teens now. And I know that's gonna be a very interesting topic for anybody who's listening, because it's like, especially if you're older, because obviously generations are different. We're gonna kind of talk about like the difference of generations. Because I've had this conversation with my other coworkers, and we've talked about like how specific, you know how like we'll get into it later, but basically like the actual names and the actual like time zones for generations. Like, you know how each one has a name? There actually are like actual time zone names. So
like Generation X, Y.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly, legit. So I will talk about that later. That'll be the second half of the show. But to kind of, before we kind of get a little bit of a break, what would you say if you had to choose and I will narrow it down to one because we're gonna keep talking about it. For your teen angst stage, what was the band that you guys connected with the most? Paramore for Arlene.
The Used.
For me, it was Fall Out Boy. To this day, that's like the only thing. What was like your theme song? Essentially, the one that you can listen to over and over and over again and not get sick of it, because that was your song.
Dang.
No?
Drawing so many blanks.
For me, it was, I think because it was like legitimately the first song that I heard from them. It was like Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. That was my anthem. Like, I can listen to that no problem.
That was a good one.
That one and Paramore's That's What You Get. But in terms of Fall Out Boy. Was that yours?
Yeah.
That was a good one though.
We were listening to that in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. I would have to pick the track I'm a Fake by The Used. That one is
I'm a Fake.
That one was easily one of like the most edgiest, emo-ist thing I'd ever heard when I first listened to it, and like I wanted it tattooed on my soul.
Oh
in
my
fact,
gosh.
The shirt that I'm wearing right now is a shirt of The Used, and I got it at the anniversary tour for the In Love and Death album.
Oh, no way. That's really cool.
And it actually has all like the lyrics to the poem that Burt McCracken recites at the beginning of the song, like all over the back. And I saw that at the merch stand, and I had to have it because that was like my jam, dude.
That's cool. Oh. Well, that's, you know what? Do you still listen to the songs now? Clearly I do, because I was playing it on the way here.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Of course. Like,
fantastic.
On the daily.
On the daily?
It's not even gonna lie. Not ashamed.
Not ashamed. Good. You shouldn't be. That teen angst is like something you guys will always like. I always see memes and stuff like that where they'll play a certain song and it's like, oh my god, yes, bring it back. Like, it's just like, it's a good reminiscence to kind of look back.
It's like the 10-year anniversary of my teen angst phase. Like,
I know, that's crazy. That's nuts, dude. All right. Well, it was, it's good times. Good times indeed. But we are going to take a small break. Speaking of songs that has basically called us back into our teen angst phase, I'm going to play a very, very well-known song in the teen angsty area. We're gonna take a break. If you guys want to kind of follow us as the show goes along, tweet us any questions, comments, or topics, or whatever else, or just chime in on our conversation. You can tweet at me at Twitters, at KCR Tishtalk. It's KCR TISH Talk. As well as on Instagram, you can hit me up there. Facebook will eventually be a thing. And then if you guys actually do want to participate in the call, and actually call in later on, the studio phone is 619-594-6982. So I'll give the number out again before the next part. But if you guys want to call and participate, we would love that. As long as it keeps a G-rated kind of thing. It'll be a fun time. But until then, I'm going to be playing My Chemical Romance's Welcome to the Black Parade.
Oh no!
And we will be back with you guys shortly. So enjoy, reminisce the teen angst, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? He said, will you defeat them, your demons, and all the non-believers, the plans that they have made? Because one day I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade.
And we're back. Hi. I hope you guys enjoyed that song because we were definitely jamming out to that song here. Like what? For the second time tonight? Actually, second time for me. I don't know how many times you guys were jamming out to it before I went to go get you guys.
It was part of my pump up jam
no.
list.
A must. I completely understand. All right, so to kind of recap for anybody who's joining in, we kind of been talking about our teen angst phases, and so what I like to do with my show, obviously, is basically connect it to entertainment and kind of to now. So when you guys, at least, let's talk about like right now. We'll talk about like our past later. When you guys think of teens in entertainment, what kind of comes to mind? Just like you can name anything essentially, but like when you think about like teens, say at our age, right? Our age in our teen angst phases. So like what, like middle school to like early high school phases. What would you say defines the generation that is now?
Social media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, social media. Well, social media has been a pretty big part of it. Like during the whole when scene was a thing, like MySpace was cool, and I mean now it's like Tumblr, and it's it's a little different now. Like not as colorful, a little sadder.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the teen angsty phase from like when we had it essentially, or what we grew up with, is no longer the same because it's more like almost bratty, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I mean, we were all at one point. We were all brats kind of thing. But I mean, more in terms of like when it being portrayed in like media or whatever. So clearly, like you said, social media is like the biggest thing. When I think of like teens nowadays with social media, I would say like the defining factors would be stuff like I'd say Vine was one of the bigger things that really gave people a lot of freedom. YouTube kind of, I feel like Vine kind of skyrocketed a lot of people's, because like people can do, I don't know, like what you can think of like memes and stuff like that people did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what would you guys say in terms of like looking at social media? What would you say for teens that was their thing?
Teens like right now, probably like you just said, Instagram, Vine, things where they just post things about themselves to get themselves across out there is like so big right now.
Like back in the day, I have to put in my old person voice. Like we just had the camera angles and the big hair going for us.
Oh, that mirror selfie.
Oh my goodness, yes. But now it's like had to be cool. A lot of pressure for that. There's a lot of like they want, because it seems to be like more popular.
Yeah.
To be edgy, and like at first it was like as opposed to like the scene emo stuff now, and then like the kids nowadays, like I see it's a little bit more trendy to be different.
Yeah,
like it's definitely cooler.
All right. To kind of cut in really quick, we actually have a caller, guys.
What?
It's, I think Arlene is one of your friends. His name's Christian. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Yay! Hello.
It's a llama.
Hello.
Okay, so well, Christian, you're obviously, I just said it. You're Arlene's friend, right?
I am. Hello?
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We hear you just fine. So you're...
Yeah, she's...
Yeah?
Hello?
No, sorry.
Okay, sorry. She's actually one of my closest friends. She's been more of a friend, as a sister than an actual friend. So she's part of my family.
I'm that unwanted sibling, yo.
Unwanted emo sibling.
Unwanted emo sibling. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so what would you say? Because we're kind of like talking, and I guess you've been listening, and we're talking about teen angst and all that good stuff. For you, what has been like the biggest difference in terms of like our teen angst versus like today's teen angst? If you can.
Everything about it. It's all different.
How so?
I mean, you still have those kids that that still try to dress up with the latest like the trends, but it's definitely a lot more of a hipster vibe to everybody now.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good way of putting it. That is actually a really good way of putting it. because I would say, looking at like what when we were teensy angsty, at least for me, it was like 13, 14-year-old, right? 12, 13, 14 kind of thing. If you look at like them now, I would see memes where it's like we look gumpy essentially, or we look back, we're like, oh no, my teen phase or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you look at them now, they look like models. Like
For
there are
real.
like Instagram models and stuff like that who are like 13, 14-year-olds. They're like, what
My
is
little
this?
sister, though. Alicia, if you're listening.
Definitely.
Yeah, like it's nuts. But I think it's also because like they had stuff like makeup tutorials and stuff like that. Like they have that stuff. We did not have that. If anything, we would just probably put more eyeliner on or whatever.
Yeah, more eyeliner fixes everything.
Yeah,
I'm sure
definitely.
Christian agrees.
Oh yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
Totally.
So Christian, when it comes to teen angst, what would you say is what was your band? What was your thing?
Oh, it's still to this day. I have a problem. It's like my car still has the logos on it. It's in hand, but
have their
Blink-182 was like the best thing in the world to me.
You have their logo tattooed on your body, bro.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
Dang,
that's
that's
when you know,
hardcore.
like, it's never gonna die. Pop punk forever, dude.
Heck yeah.
Dang. Would you like to see? I mean, like they're still around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have they put
Yeah.
out anything recently? I feel like I should know.
Just
I work in
recently,
music a
yeah.
lot. Yeah. I feel like I should know. I work in music log. I should know. I'm
They
sorry.
just have like a different singer now, right?
Yeah. They did that change. Many agree, many don't.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Mixed
think that's up
feelings?
for. I have mixed feelings.
Gotcha.
That-
Part of my
Like
heart is
180
broken.
Scuba?
Part of my heart is rebuilding.
I think we see that with a lot of bands nowadays, though. Like, if you were to look at like when Fall Out Boy came back, and even when Paramore started coming back too, their music style is not the same. Like, it's very similar, but like both of them have kind of turned to a little bit more pop. Like, it's still very similar. Even Panic at the Disco, but a lot of them have essentially begun to change their style to kind of fit the audiences that they're catering to now, because it's not the same. So
Oh yeah, no.
for me, it's kind of like I miss the old sound, but I also am still really enjoying the new sounds that they're putting out. So, what about you guys, ladies?
I agree.
Yes.
Some would call it selling out. Others say it's growing as an artist. You always see that.
Which one
term.
do you call it?
I call it
Ooh.
nonsense. It's all nonsense.
Like, ooh, oh no, oh, okay. So I want to talk to you, and Christian, you can tune in too. Actually, I want to keep you on here because it's pretty cool. So if you want to stick around, by all means. I wanted to talk about. So we were kind of like talking about generations, our generations, and teen angst versus like the older generations. But generations in general, like, you know how for the most part. Well, how old are you, Christian? Let's put that, if you don't mind me asking.
I'm 21.
Okay, so our age group, we're all 21 kind of thing. What would you say most people define you as? Would you be called more as a 90s kid, or are you called more of a millennial? Or both?
90s kid.
90s
Definitely.
kid. So, I have this conversation a lot with a lot of people. And what I find is really interesting, like if you Google generation names, there actually is a list that comes up, and it will actually show the age, the years that people were born in, and actually show the correct ones that they were in. So, I mean, when people talk to say our age group, we are millennials / Generation Y. I think Generation Y is closer to our age group, particular, like closer to like early 90s ish kind of thing, which is what people usually associate that as. But it actually is like 1977 to 1995, which I had no idea. I was like, oh, I didn't. Most people don't talk about Generation Y. They always talk about millennials or Generation X, and Generation X is actually 65 to 76. So I have friends who are like into, I want to say like late 20s, 30s, who associates themselves with Generation X, but sometimes are defined as our generation. They're actually millennials. And then like the newest one, which I thought was really interesting, kind of speaks to the now generation, is the Centennials / the name they had on Google was iGen, like iPhone, iGen. But it is true though. Does that not speak out to how they are growing up right now. Like they,
Yeah.
you know, like we grew up. I want to say like us in particular, we all kind of grew up with that transition from like going like when we grew up as technology was growing up essentially. Like, ladies, would you agree?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, like I would say like we saw when we were born, we still kind of saw technology developing in terms of like floppy disks and the old huge PCs, like the dial-ups and stuff like that, and then we slowly be, to where we are now. And I think it's really interesting because we obviously see things differently as to the generation that grew up with iPhones in their hands, essentially, or iPhones at their will. So I would say like that has like a big influence on how people grew up. Obviously, how people grew up, but also like how it's portrayed, especially in entertainment. So like when you think of teen angst, obviously we've been talking about like rock bands, black nail polish, black whatever. But then like if you think about it now, if you look at like TV shows and stuff like that, it's more, I want to say it's like more kids being like snotty bratty with their iPhones and stuff like that. What do you think? Anyone can speak up and say it at this point.
I think if somebody took away like this generation's phone or like smart device, they would literally not know what to do with themselves. They would like sit in the corner and be like,
I think
how am I
some
supposed to-
kids. Yeah, well, I think
how am
some
I supposed
kids
to
would.
know about this?
Yeah. Not to say that we should. I mean, yes and no, but Ursula?
Because like nowadays they have the dog filter. They can make themselves look good in like 30 different shades of light on Instagram, whereas like back in the MySpace days, you had to take a picture with your little Sony camera that you got from Target, then go home, upload it to your computer, and then like do the photo booth thing on your MacBook and try to make it look good for your MySpace page.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
And so that's why these kids are so like Instagram famous. You see these 14-year-olds.
They have that.
Like
We did
Tumblr
not.
core
Yeah.
power. And
They have, well,
like, man.
even to look at it too, they have the front face selfie cameras. We didn't have that. We'd have to like turn the camera
mirror.
or
That mirror
the
selfie.
mirror.
Our generation created an angle, okay?
Oh, we did. Yes, we did.
We have that.
We made it work. Oh my gosh.
You need your angles and the way you actually could do it. 50 pictures later, you choose one out of them.
Yeah, right? Like
Chrissy would know.
after Dude, she just called you out.
And you have to pick up the perfect song lyric at the end.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You gotta add that song lyric. That's what makes it. If people do that now, I feel like you're like, oh, you're so. I mean, people still do it, but I feel like there's a stigma to it now where it's just kind of like it's cheesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. I don't, but I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, it fits your aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Aesthetic is everything.
This is true. This is also very, very true.
That's the one thing, though. This generation cares more about what people think. Back then, we used to care what they thought, of course, but we weren't we didn't have like social media as Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
and Twitter and all that stuff. Now we actually have to focus on everything else because it's becoming the latest thing.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'd say, like, if anything, if we ever had anything close to that, I would say it was the old school MySpace top 10 friends.
Oh.
I remember
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have friends that would, like, fight. Why am I not in your top 10? Why is that person your number one? You don't even talk to them. I'm like, whoa, calm down, okay? Tom created MySpace. Don't get off my back.
I didn't have
Or-
enough friends for my top 10, so nobody had a fight.
Or when you'd try to see if they were mad at you, so you check their top 10. If you were on them, you knew that they were mad at you.
Oh my gosh. That was it though. That was how we would do it back then. Like now it's more like it was like you didn't like my Instagram picture or I don't think kids can really do that anymore because there's too many outlets.
Wait,
Like-
did you guys like my last Instagram post?
Hold
on.
We
Did
should,
you
I don't
like
know what
mine?
you're talking about. What's your handle again? Let me look at it really quick now. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Don't know my handle by heart? How dare you?
I'm sorry. No. I'm digging myself a deeper hole.
You know our handles by heart?
Yeah. Do you?
At Lost 22.
Dude, is that really?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you don't know mine, Ursula.
at Tish with 2 A's, I think.
No.
Oh,
I changed mine like 5 times too, though, so that's why.
well, that's your problem.
Cool, thanks. Christian, do you know any of ours?
I know Arlene. That's all I know.
Llama loving Chrisio.
Oh my gosh. Fantastic. I'm sorry, Ursula. I'll memorize yours next time. Well, I know your Twitter one. Your Twitter one's just your name one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
I have different handles for all my social media.
I have actually like, and it's funny because like you begin to pick up, at least if you look at like it from like a business aspect. Also because I took a class on it. Yes, there's a social media class. Yes, it was an easy whatever. It's great. There was this class that I took, and it was kind of like the workings of social media. And it's funny because like I'll talk about this with like kids, and like this is a class at college at SDSU, and I'll talk about it with kids, and they'll be like, "Yeah, that's a given." Some people in that class had no idea. Like there's certain workings to how you do things on social media, versus like that's their norm now. You know what I mean? Back then for us that wasn't really the case, which I think is really interesting. What was that?
No, yeah, that's definitely a thing now.
Yeah,
there's some things that I don't even understand anymore.
Why even try?
There's too many updates.
I have my little brother showing me about technology. I'm like, what? Is it really that advanced still?
I know it's crazy, right? It is kind of crazy how, it's crazy kind of like seeing like back, because before I wasn't so tech savvy, and I don't really know if I obviously know how to use a computer now and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's more they've made the program easier, or they've made it, or has it just kind of like have people been able to pick it up a lot faster? You know what I mean? Because remember back like in MySpace, both. Because I remember back in MySpace, you'd have to like copy and paste to change, like like the coding and everything. Yeah. People did it like that. They figured it out no problem, and I was like, whoa! Like I didn't I had no I had no idea that was the thing. People had to like walk me through it, and then now,
is the button and you're done.
Yeah, basically. And so I think it's really fascinating to kind of look at it and be like, is that really, is that because of we're growing up in a generation that's very familiar with that? Or is it because they're dumbing it down so it's a lot easier? Or is it both, like we said?
Both.
Yeah.
I feel like they're making it very mature, but it's also not the greatest thing to give into kid trends.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely gave us a lot more of a creative, edgier for like MySpace. I don't know if I was the only one that had it like really decked out.
Yes,
but it's definitely a lot more simpler with Facebook and Instagram. You it's very handed to you. Yes. Yeah. You can say.
Yeah, I would say that. Like they make it user friendly, or they kind of like dumb it down. So I would say it's a mix of both for sure. But yeah. Ladies, any comments on it?
Add me on MySpace.
No.
Is it still around?
It actually is around. I remember learning about it where it was, so MySpace, when we were growing up with it, actually was meant to be like a music platform, but then everybody used it as like we would, they used it like we would Facebook or Twitter or whatever. That was the equivalent. But now I think they're trying to go back to their roots as like the music platform, but I don't think anyone's using it for that purpose anymore. Because you have stuff like Spotify, you can put stuff on, what is it? Like, you can promote yourself like I do for the show. Follow Tishtalk on Twitter and Instagram. But like, you can do that. You can create Instagrams, Twitters, Facebooks. You can vouch for like a Spotify spot. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really need you don't really need a platform like MySpace anymore. So I don't know. Like SoundCloud is a big thing actually that I've noticed that a lot of people that like that's the equivalent, but that's solely just music or whatever audio file. But yeah, Yeah, Ursula or Arlene, no.
You could also add links to your live journal account. Oh my god, guys, please tell me you remember live journal.
I remember live journal.
Okay, good. I feel
I
validated.
joined. Well, no, I joined that. I joined that scene a lot later. I was more of the don't try to be. I was more of the deviant art girl.
Deviant art.
Yes.
I finally met one in real life.
No. I'm sorry. Okay.
We need to talk about this later.
No. I was more like a onlooker than I was a contributor. So
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
I was like, what about you, Arlene, Christian? No? Yes?
I
Maybe?
wasn't on either of those.
No. I mean, it's like they had good stuff. What can I say? All the fanfics. There's, I don't know, like
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Sounds so convincing.
I know, right?
I'm sorry. I can't just like reveal all of that to you. That's a side of me that's not going to come out. That's going to
Not yet,
stay.
at least.
No.
We'll wait.
No. I don't think so. But my time is coming up here. Christian, thank you so much for joining us, dude. That's really cool that you came on to talk to us about the thing. Did you want to kind of did you want to say any like last minute kind of remarks as I kind of close out the show?
It was nice being on here, and thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
It's actually funny because you guys are live on my. I'm actually at work.
Oh,
you guys
really?
are in my break room, and my associates are probably wondering why I'm up in the office talking through the phone into the the radio station.
Uh-huh.
Hi,
But
Chris's
you
coworkers.
guys were actually live, and you're listening. Everybody's listening into you guys' show. So.
That scared me.
Oh, nice. I hope they all
I'm
add
sorry
us on
for that,
MySpace now.
I know.
Put you in my
Yeah,
top
right?
10.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much. All right, well, you
No,
have a
thank
good
you.
night. Thank you.
You too.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
See you on the interweb.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. As I kind of close out everything right now with the last couple of minutes. But it's been KCR College Radio, and this has been my show Tishtalk. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KCR Tishtalk. You've been listening to the award-winning Sound Estate, and we're always online and worldwide, 24/7. Just visit us at kcrlive.com and on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
MySpace.
And MySpace, yeah. Arlene, Ursula, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It's been
Yeah,
great. It's been
thank
fantastic.
you.
So
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you guys really enjoy it. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys next week. So we'll see you guys then. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.